such as the school deficit and, any kind of assistance when it comes to, organization and processes, which I know the CFO can speak on in more detail. That's where we're at right now, and I welcome any further questions.
I appreciate that, and it is unfortunate that we've had to go to the level of submitting a FOIA, which I did earlier this afternoon, for some other items, although it just occurred to me I don't think the leases were on my request, so I'll have to send another one as well. So I don't think that should be a necessary step for the City Council to obtain publicly available information from a department, but that is where we are. So request went in this afternoon, and we'll see what happens from there. Questions, comments from the members of the committee? Councillor Lally.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I did talk earlier to the interim superintendent, and he had mentioned that he had only received an inquiry about, what we were looking for on Monday, which kind of left me a little flabbergasted because we've been talking about it since, before Monday. And I just don't know if Madam Auditor, you've got anything that you'd want to, put out for, for the meeting, for the minutes, for the folks at home.
Right.
Because I feel like that request went out before Monday.
Inquiries have been made several times over the past couple of months, especially with our weekly roundtables in the beginning. I know there's been discussions, with the CFO and with the acting superintendent and open architect about the importance of having our grant agreements, having their contracts. Lease, and that would, when we say contracts, that would fall under the umbrella of lease agreements. We need to know what's going on there so we can justify, payments that come in. The forum of how it was asked, I think, is what's being nitpicked at. So going forward, I will be sure to continually send things via email. There were verbal requests, there were email requests. I'm not going to go back and forth with the nitpicking. I'm sure the school department will turn that around to us soon. And that's all I can say at this point regarding the communication.
Fair enough. Don't want to put you on the spot. That is interesting though, because this has been discussed. So it is disappointing that there is a code word clearance required to get information. So that's a little frustrating. And I think it also kind of puts the committee in a bit of a pickle, when we have questions regarding a significant amount of real estate, a significant number of transactions, a significant amount of money, all of which, we're not even sure is being done appropriately, and it's not coming, it's not coming to us. And when we ask for it, it's tough to obtain. This is not the attitude that I think really needs to be taken in light of the rest of the department's troubles. So I join your hopes that they, in some manner of speed, return that information to the committee. But on that item, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I'm all set.
Okay.
The lease, but you did ask about the lease. So.
All right. Yeah, and it wasn't just the lease. There were other contracts that we wanted to see that.
A lot of things.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we will move on for now on that, and hopefully they will respond appropriately to the FOIA, and then, it's unlikely that this committee will meet again this year, so I can pass that information on to the chair of the Accounts Committee for 2024, so that the 2024 Accounts Committee can continue that work, because regardless, FOIAs have a 10-day response time, so. All right. If we can move on to agenda item number 2, please.
Okay, so regarding the outstanding FY23 bills for DPW, I know this item was spoken about this past Monday in the Finance Committee meeting in terms of the context on this forum when it comes to the Accounts Committee and payments. I just wanted to explain from our end in the City Auditor's Office what exactly happened and why it got to this point. We're mandated by MGL law that we're supposed to close our books on June 30th. We have up until July 15th to open a requisition for any bills that remain outstanding, for the prior fiscal year. And we would think that in July 15th, obviously, that would cover June bills, possibly May. But the expectation is that all bills are received and we've paid them. Given the practices of the city for some odd years, for as long back as I can't say, this predates my employment here, we followed sort of a guideline of having a soft close that goes into the fall and allowing bills to be paid for the prior fiscal year well into September and October. We have since, given the fact that we're under a microscope, if you will, when it comes to, our finances and such, we've decided to take more of a hard approach in adhering to the law when it comes to payments out of the City Auditor's Office. And it's been a bit of a learning curve for the departments, and rightfully so. For reasons that I can't explain, I feel like it was explained well by our DPW commissioner the other night. The vendor didn't give them their bills in time. I gave city departments a hard deadline, otherwise we couldn't close the books for the fiscal year, and I had no choice. And any remaining FY23 bills that are outstanding, we cannot pay, and they'd have to come before the council to request FY24 funds be utilized for these payments. I've got a memo up on your screens that I sent to the departments, sort of explaining why this is happening. The law specifically is here. It's Chapter 44, Section 56A. Again, this is a new process for the entire city, school included, and we were very understanding of them needing time to wrap their heads around this. Mm-hmm. But after discussions, with the CFO's support and the mayor, we agreed that this is the best practice because this is the law. If there are any further questions about agenda item number 2, our CFO, Troy Clarkson, is here to answer any more questions you might have. I believe the vendors in question for DPW were some of our big ones like Veolia and Constellation.
Okay. Well, I'll start. I'm curious. We seem to have these issues, and it's not anybody's fault on the city if invoices aren't coming in a timely fashion, right? I mean, you can send emails and say, hey, getting to the end of the year, need those invoices, but you can't print them out for the vendor and make them send it to you, right?
Right.
How, when you've got this, okay, here's the deadline, how enforceable is it to say, look, if you want to get paid, you got to get this in because our budget year is closing? I mean, is there any ability to enforce that? Do other communities have this issue of this straggling, so now they're in another budget year, now they got to go to the council or the select board, or the, or FinCom, depending on the structure of the town government, to get supplemental monies appropriated for those things? Like, how enforceable is any kind of a measure or hammer clause, for lack of a better way to put it, to kind of say to these vendors, look, we're not going to keep doing this?
I would say it's very enforceable. Supplying them with this memo alone should prove that. Giving them a copy of my municipal taxation and finance law book from the DOR would prove this. In my 14 years in the public sector, and I know Mr. Clarkson has more seniority than myself when it comes to this, from my background and perspective, and I did come from another municipality, a rather large one that's the same size as this one, I haven't heard of any difficulty, or rather a lack of understanding of vendors being aware of procurement laws that we're required to follow, payment laws that we're required to follow, because our practices are being watched by the state, by the Department of Revenue. Our practices are being watched by external auditors. I can't speak for what's happened in the past, but I think given the circumstances, with this great city and where we're at, I can't see why it would be difficult for a vendor to produce a bill within a month or two after we close the books.
Excuse me.
Ideally June 30th. And I will say this, we don't require a bill before the July 15th deadline. You don't need an invoice to create a requisition. You need a quote. These vendors can easily give our departments, a final figure of, hey, listen, this is going to be your total costs, give or take, through to June. That's all we would need to open a requisition and encumber those funds.
Right, because they just have to, the department head just needs to encumber it. It doesn't necessarily need to have the invoice in.
Right. But given the fact that we're trying to close the books, it's not June 30th anymore, it's October, we absolutely should have had the bill by now, which is why the situation this year that's special is we had to negate the whole quote rule because we're now into October and we're still looking for June bills. So that's the approach we took. And I believe that may have answered your question.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I was looking for, is do we have any ability to enforce it? And, I think we all get it, a vendor that's usually pretty good makes a mistake, that's one thing, but I don't know, maybe you can answer, but do we have vendors that this is a chronic issue with getting invoiced in a timely fashion? Or are they all just one-offs?
It's something that we can look into in the auditor's department. We can start reaching out to our colleagues in the other departments and request that they let us know if any repeat offenders exist. There are special circumstances. I know, I think with utility bills, things like meter reads were an issue in one department, and it was extremely difficult for the utility company to produce a bill. Things like that happen everywhere, though, not just in Brockton.
Right.
So there's got to be some kind of sort of mitigation plan on behalf of the vendor to sort of come up with something to help us out.
Okay. All right. That certainly answers my question. Any of the other members of the committee want to comment or question on item number 2?
I got a question.
Councilor Texera.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The $900,000 for DPW, is that one invoice? Is that multi-invoice? Is that
It's several invoices.
separate invoice?
I know did you bring paper copies too? Or I can pull it up on my screen. Forgive me, I'm fighting a really bad illness.
I have just one copy, but I'll take it and I can help you.
Okay.
It's sewer on the top and then water. I'm sorry, that's just one. It's one.
Oh, that's just
okay.
one copy.
But I'll give it to you, you can have it, because I've got it kind of memorized. And I don't need that because.
I also have it up on my screen, on your screens as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can briefly explain, thank you, Irene. As we discussed at the city council meeting, at the finance committee meeting the other night, particularly with the sewer bills, those were less of a case of bills coming in late and more of a case of unexpected capital and operational costs at the sewer plant. As we've discussed, we went out to bid and executed a new operating contract with Veolia for the purposes of the sewer plant. And that allows us, that contract, because Brockton has a home rule petition, a special act that governs the operation and procurement related to the sewer plant that's specific to Brockton. It gave us the ability under this contract to not only address the operations, but if there were any necessary improvements that came about to the sewer plant, those can actually be performed by Veolia and then billed to the city. So you'll see, looking through those 3 Veolia invoices, they are for sludge removal and disposal, which we've discussed before the city council on several occasions. The incredible escalation of those costs, and also for some improvements to the sewer plant. So as we discussed the other night in this chamber, unlike the unpaid bills that you see for the water department, which more fit the description that Irene was just sharing about bills coming in after the deadline, these were unanticipated expenses that would have exceeded our ability to pay, so we deferred them to be paid this year. We do, however, anticipate and hope that when retained earnings are certified in the next several weeks, we'll be able to go to the council soon after January 1st and make a transfer back in to be able to address these additional costs so they don't adversely impact the FY24 budget.
Okay.
Yeah, my question is, excuse me, the $900,000, the $900,000, is that was in the budget for FY23? That was included in the budget, or is
Well, that's just
it going to affect
Yes, but the challenge is because of inflationary costs and the escalating costs of everything from chemicals to sludge disposal to the operations of the plant, we are asked to defer these costs because they exceeded our anticipated expenses in FY23. So we're paying them out of FY24. There were hopefully, once we finalize the numbers for FY23, there'll be sufficient revenues for retained earnings, which your profit for the year, if you will, that we can then transfer back to the enterprise to cover those additional expenses.
So we take the money from the FY24 to pay
Correct.
FY23
Right.
on the DPW.
Correct.
All right, thank you, Mr.
You bet.
All right. Anything else on item 2? Okay, I think we can move on to item number 3, open checkbook update.
The open check, excuse me. Again, I appreciate your patience when it comes to the open checkbook process. We're still plugging away at it, given the fact that all of our reporting requirements with the DOR when it comes to certifying our free cash and submitting our tax recap is going to be finalized very soon. This open checkbook project should finally go live. That's all I can say at this point, is that we've been trying to handle the balance sheet, and given the extraordinary circumstances with the finances in the city at the moment, we've been very diligent in making sure our numbers are accurate and proceeding cautiously. I feel bad that I keep having to come to you and say it's on its way, it's on its way. But it is on its way.
Better than saying what?
Open what?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And on that, I mean, I think it's worth saying and giving some credit to the fact that you certainly dealt with an unexpected and unprecedented situation where first you lost a key person who was on a medical leave, and so that of course puts more on your plate. And then we have the issue on the school side to add more to your plate. So I think it's, while maybe frustrating for some folks, including us, that it's not up and running yet, you've certainly been dealing with some unprecedented issues that have put a significantly larger amount of work on your plate than would normally be there, I would say. So I think a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Geez.
Giving me a little slack.
A little slack, a little wiggle room, a little flexibility with deadlines is certainly warranted, given everything that's been kind of thrown at you since, really last May. So, I think, we'll all look forward to that finally being able to get moved along. And obviously you've got the auditor back, but you're still dealing with the school side issues. So, but again, and I mention that also because I do want to kind of recognize and state for the record and for the public that it's certainly not for a lack of effort. It's a lack of, there's only so many hours in your day. You can only spend so much time in this building. So I know we've talked about this, and the effort's certainly there, and you're doing all you can, and again, had unprecedented things thrown at you in a very short amount of time. So I appreciate, and I know we appreciate everything that you've been doing and taking on that's extra, and we certainly look forward to now you being able to kind of put the time into to get this, where it needs to be. Because on top of all of that, yes, you had the normal DOR and everything else too. So, anybody else? All right. Item number 4, review of vendor warrants. Who would like to start? Councilor Lally.
Take it. I went ahead and dug through a lot of these earlier on, so I got like one page left and I'm covered. Starting from the top, on page number 8, that is warrant P24-033.
Can I have a purchase order number?
Yep. Purchase order number should be 54140014. And this came up actually in another PO later. But it is a pretty small bill. The vendor is Crescent Ridge, and the description is humanistic supplies. I like ice cream, but I just would like a definition of humanistic supplies. Who's buying ice cream and who's labeling it in such a scientific manner?
They paid for orange juice, cream, milk, coffee. They must have had some sort of
Who's the
This is
department?
I'm sorry, this is the Council on Aging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they must have had some sort of event and got fancy with their wording.
That is impressive verbiage. I'll give them that.
Yep, and this was from Crescent Ridge Dairy. They ordered some fancy milk from the dairy and not Market Basket.
Oh,
Yep.
fair enough. I can't fault them for treating the seniors well.
Not at all.
All right, number 10, page 10, purchase order, there's 3 of them in a row. It's DS Services of America. I think the PO I'm gonna run with is 54140015, which also went in as humanistic supplies. The other 2 are for instructional supplies, so I think that probably makes a little more sense. Council on
Okay, this
Aging.
is also the Council on Aging.
Okay.
This is from the general fund, it's from their budget. Water delivery, I think Crystal is water bubbles, bubblers.
Okay,
Yeah, Crystal Rock.
fair enough. That covers me for that. On page 15, PO number 210-40148, the town of Hanson, and it's listed as tuition and training. Again, not a lot of money, but I don't wanna be combative to Hanson, but what are they teaching us?
Okay, so this is the police department. Let's see.
Oh, that covers it.
Yep. Probably some, looks like some kind of drug prevention program or training for everyone in Plymouth County. Drug and alcohol resistance education summer program.
Oh, so this is DARE.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, fair enough. All right, I've got a couple more. Page 18, I assume this is, the library or something, but we have the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. We're paying for registration, membership, or subscription.
I love the gardener.
Oh, yeah, but, taxpayer dollars and all.
Yep.
610-40144. Actually, if we can get in there overnight sometime, given their history, we might be able to pay down the school department's deficit. Think they up security at all, or?
I think they have.
Probably.
They don't want any more
But I'll give you
priceless
points for
pieces of
being
artwork
creative, Counselor.
Outside the box.
walking out of the door. So it's museum pass, okay.
Okay.
This is grant funded.
Oh, good.
Yep,
And it is the library.
it is the library. Looks like it's from one of our senior library assistants.
Nice. Yeah, one of the programs they offer to the kids for the summer.
Yeah.
That's nice. All right. On a different warrant, P24-035, that's page 62. Homer Contracting, listed construction, 133-40124.
What page was that?
Page 62, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Counselor.
Jumped out as, something to spot check.
Okay, so this is roof replacement and repairs for the War Memorial construction.
Okay.
This is through ARPA funds. And oh, boy. What happened?
Everybody at home, look away. I thought you were going to put your password in.
Okay. Let me try this again.
Is it in the attachment up the top?
I mean, I can open the attachment, but the description's right here. It's to replace their roof, miscellaneous repairs for the War Memorial Building.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to see where that was based from. Okay.
I think that's the wrong attachment.
All right, well, I get where it is. I'm going to skip my second Crescent Ridge inquiry, because it's probably the same deal. And then,
Counselor, you don't want to take the ice cream away from the COA, do you?
no,
Just messing with you.
don't do that to me. I know you're leaving. Don't do that to me.
For now.
Page 318. This is more, I guess, a general question than anything. It's PO 323-40259. The description is BHS uniforms, which I thought that they had abandoned the idea of.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Halftime band cheer uniforms. This is out of their general fund.
Okay.
It's to the vendor's name is A Wish Come True.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That explains the uniform aspect.
Okay.
That will cover me for now. Thank you, Madam Auditor. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
My pleasure. Okay. All right, then I guess I will go next. Right on page 1, and the PO is 385-40440, Air Gas East, Inc., $287.13, and I'm just curious what Air Gas East does. And a lot of times, it's not a huge amount of money, but you know, the description isn't obvious, or the name of the vendor isn't necessarily obvious, and so
Right.
it's a, I wonder what they do for us.
Looks like some equipment for the pools at, forgive me, the high school. One moment. This is out of their general fund as well, school department. 2 CO2 cylinders for the pool at the high school.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. And next, the same warrant, P2433, page 3, PO 155-20201, Astronaut Security Technologies for consultants for $9,900. Oh, geez, I'm sorry.
So this is from IT. Forgive me. IT out of their general fund. I can look into this further if you wish. I can't say I know what a bucket truck is.
Well, and I assume it's the truck goes up, like
Oh.
you see the National Grid using to go up and work on the lines, or Comcast or any of them, but I don't know if we have any more detail available in here as to what they were up in the bucket truck doing for us.
We've got a couple of our own bucket trucks, too.
Unless it was kind of the vendor has to do it, and
It could be a last-minute thing, too.
It looks like it has to do with the City Hall upgrade.
okay. Oh, so it was lights here at City Hall?
Yeah.
Electrician
It's
apprentice?
notating electricians and such.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. All right. On page 6, no, wrong number, damn it. 13340109, Capital Strategic Solutions LLC. Again, my favorite category, other contract services.
Okay, this is grant funded. Yeah, I know. It's you guys. Why don't we let the CFO?
Okay.
You can stay right there. I can just, last year, we put out a competitive bid package for consulting firms to assist us with seeking, writing, and managing grants. CSS is one of those firms. They are, in particular, this consulting work is paid out of ARPA funds. They have been a tremendous assistance to us. For instance, I don't think this has come before the council yet because we're awaiting the paperwork, but we received an $8 million planning grant from the federal DOT for 7 or 8 years of planning for downtown.
Excellent.
We received $1.5 million SMART grant that's going to help us with the new traffic fixtures around the new public safety building. So CSS is the kind of company that are experienced in grant management and grant procurement, so they act really as our ongoing consultants. So we went and procured 2 different firms to provide us that assistance, so we don't have to go out each time we have questions on a grant. We don't have to contract for $5,000 or $10,000 with a company. They're on board as needed at rates and amounts that are defined by the bid.
Okay, perfect. No, that explains it. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Go to same PO, we're on page 10. There are several of them, I'm going to pick the largest, because I suspect this vendor's doing, these are all probably similar. 405-40012, Diggett Construction LLC. That invoice is for $1,424,672.52.
This is DPW, this is through enterprise funds.
I can already tell you my assumption was wrong, so I'm glad I asked.
Yep. Has to do with the work at North Main Street.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so this is the North Main Sewer Project.
Right.
Sorry, North Main Water Project. All right, great, thank you. Page 12, same PO, 385-40403. Environmental Response Services, Inc. Yeah, it's a small amount, but I'm just curious as to what they were working on for us.
Short a digit, 3854043. Should be one more.
385-40403.
This is the school department. Looks like some asbestos
Asbestos abatement.
services. This is through their general fund, whether it's removal or prevention.
Either way, it's nasty stuff. I'm glad we're doing it.
Right. Raymond
Okay.
School, removal.
Oh, there's removal. Removal, transportation, disposal. Okay. All right, great. Next, I have on page 13. No PO number. Huh? My big blank spot where the PO number should be?
That is correct. You're not tripping.
All right, I just, maybe old eyes. I wasn't seeing it. Is there another one of these numbers I can?
What's the vendor number?
So it's the vendor number 26636. It's First Student. I have a pretty good suspicion as to what this is. It says motor vehicle excise revenue, but we obviously wrote a check. I'm suspecting they had vehicles registered in the city and then either registered them elsewhere or canceled plates or something like that.
Right. It's
And Paying them a
an
refund.
excise refund. There was a similar question asked in our last Accounts Committee meeting about some checks we cut through the Treasury, which didn't have PO numbers. These are all refund checks having to do with billing.
Okay.
They
That's
don't
why there's-
necessarily need a PO
Okay.
to process the payment.
Okay.
I can tell you more details. I also put the detail in the email I sent you guys with all of the answers to your questions from last time.
Yes.
It's the same process.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I figured that's what it was, but it just, good to confirm, because as we learned with some of the other ones I asked about, The assumption is not always correct. I'm on page 19, 133-40107. Kessel Booz Associates, Inc., Architecture and Design for $117,294 and 57 cents.
Yeah, that's you guys, right?
That's the public safety building architecture? Okay, all right.
It's handy to have Troy here when we pull his bills.
Careful, we might make you come every time.
All right, and impressive with the number of invoices coming in and out that he can just rattle those off. Page 22, 293-40007, Marlin Controls, Inc. It's traffic lanes and signs, et cetera, but I want to see a little more specific.
Okay. This is the traffic department. This is out of the general fund, so it's their budget.
If I
Gosh.
may.
Do you see the invoice number on that line? It should be next to the PO number. With the date.
Voucher, document name, invoice date 10/25/23. Or maybe this is the invoice number, 4670.
You said 1025?
Is it
10/25, yeah.
553800?
Oh, maybe it's, oh, that's the
Well, they all
account.
had fives, so I was taking a guess.
It's all right. I'll just pull up each attachment. We'll find it.
If I may, Mr. Chair, while we're,
Yeah, of course. Councilor Lally.
Marlin does a lot of, like our sign, line painting.
Okay. All right, so side of
Also,
pole.
it's
School
Maybe.
zone sign.
Yeah, definitely smart.
Yeah.
Right, and this is one of those, and sometimes I do this, I'll ask, and I'm pretty sure, you know, that it's exactly what we're seeing, but I think it's good for the public to see what some of this stuff costs. You know, geez, why don't you put a sign up there? Well, $10,000 later, we will, you know? So I just think it's good for them that are watching this, maybe to, just to have the knowledge of, like I said, what some of these things cost. I know,
And we do have freight costs as well,
okay,
although we're exempt to sales tax. I mean,
right,
that's pretty much it.
okay. Page 29. 121-458. O'Brien and Sons, Inc., my favorite other contract services.
What was that number again?
121-400-58.
Okay. This is through the mayor's office. It's for the Marvin Hagler statue. This is grant funded.
Okay.
I can pull up the bill if you wish.
Yeah, is this the cost of the statue itself, or installation, or maybe it's cleaning? I imagine there's some amount of maintenance for steel bench.
They crafted the steel bench.
Okay. All right.
It's going to go in that little
Jeez.
area where the statue is.
Gonna make it a point to go over there and plop myself down on the $7,500 bench. Page 30. 133-40108. Page Building Construction Company. And again, it just says construction, so I'm just curious, is it the public safety complex or some other project?
Troy?
Say the vendor again?
Page Building Construction.
No, Page is for the
Senior Center.
senior center.
Oh, all right, perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Clarkson. I appreciate the info. And again, great that you can just rattle that off. All right. Do. Get to the next page. I should have dog-eared these as I was going through. More of a curiosity than anything else. It's PO is 24035, page 63. It says it's, special ed tuition, but I was still curious. 36540096, Italian Home for Children, Inc. I'm just
I'm
curious
sorry, what was that PO number again? Because I heard a couple of sets of numbers.
Right, 3654096, and I'm more curious about like what kinds of services they provide.
Oh, they're all over these.
This is tuition.
Okay, this is coming from their general fund.
Camera tuition, so it doesn't really get into what types of
Yeah, let me.
services or need, oh, maybe this will tell us what need they fill. Day school, okay, all right. Okay, like I said, I was just curious as to what type of services they're providing. Right. Let's see, okay. P24036 is the warrant, and it's page 85. And it's the first item on the list here, PO 121-40061, and it's 617 Media Group LLC, consultants for $8,000. It's like I'm on Jeopardy. I'll take consultants for $8,000.
Show him what he's won, Madam Auditor.
617 Media Group is a media communications consultant in the mayor's office.
Okay.
Dave Welch.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, now this whole section here is Medicare payments. No questions there. I had one or two more, and then that's going to do it for me, believe it or not. All right. PO 24043, page 283. Where's the Bus LLC? Contract Services, PO 392-40322, $11,809. Where's the bus? Wasn't that like a crisscross song? Oh, wait, I missed the bus. Never mind.
There's a reference in there somewhere.
Okay, so this is, of course, through schools transportation. It is a general fund expenditure.
Transportation. Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's GPS. It's tech services for the bus.
All right. I thought it might be, but I wanted to confirm. So this looks like it's that GPS software that I think, if I remember right, you can check and see where the kid's bus is
Right.
and,
Yeah.
where are they on their way and kind of what timing, which is really nice. What is can I just see that again?
Yep.
So this was 11,000 for, was that just a month of service?
No. It looks like there's some, well, let's see.
And again, this is kind of just that I think it's important for the taxpayers who might be watching this to see.
Well, the support charge is going to cover more than a month.
Okay.
Well, in this case, it did with this particular vendor, which is
Okay.
rather handy than,
Mounts, hardware, readers. So I guess I'm trying to drill down to, is this just the monthly, or maybe it's annual, maybe it's quarterly, I don't know, cost of having this capability? Oh, there it is.
What's this?
October to June. That's a good amount of the school year there, covered by that, okay.
it's most of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
The rest look like just installation charges or.
Right, right. And
But
I think
the support would span across months, obviously.
all right, good. No, and I think, like I said, I think that's important to know, like, all right, it was $11,000, but what was within that and how, you know what I mean, and what span of time was covered by that. If that was monthly, that would seem quite a bit of money, but for almost the entire school year, that doesn't seem nearly as, significant. All right, my final one, I promise. Warrant P24047. PO is, which one was I? Oh, all right, I was more wondering what the vendor does. So we'll go with 631-403-59. It's $1,809. Turf Products Corporation.
So this is through Recreation. Give me. It is enterprise funds. For the golf course. Some kind of screen. I can get more information if you'd like.
Yeah, if you could just get us a little more detail on what that is, and just email it. That's fine. Right. As promised,
Sure.
that is all I have. I think I probably left you one or two. Counselor Texera, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right. Back to page 1. It's invoice number, PO number 135400101. Academy Outreach and Tours Source, the contract.
All right, so this is grant funded. This comes through my office. It's for the Culture Council. Let me get some more detail for you on this, Counselor.
Okay, appreciate
It
it.
looks like they misplaced the attachment, but we have it in the office.
Okay. On page 5, invoice number, PO number, I'm sorry. 11-10595.
1110595.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I'm short. No, I think I'm short a digit. 11105.
I'm sorry, that's the check number. The PO number is,
I thought that looked like okay.
yeah, 15140095.
Okay, this is for legal services through our law department. This is out of their general fund.
Okay, so this is illegal.
It appears to be a case that went through court.
Okay, so that's the law department. All right, appreciate. Page 6, 1040511. Protect management.
1040511.
That's correct.
No.
Oh.
Try it again.
1040511.
What's
One,
the
one.
name of the company? What's the name of the company?
Chen Consulting.
Oh, Chandler Associates?
One,
CHA Consulting?
Chen
Four.
Consulting.
zero.
CHA?
Yeah.
CHA is the project manager for the public safety building.
Oh, okay.
The OPM, the project manager.
So that's the public, oh, okay.
Oh, that's the voucher number, Counselor.
Oh, yeah. Getting confused with the voucher and the PO. Okay. All right, that one was asked. On page 14, PO number 135400100. Fuller Crafter Museum. This is out of the contract, so.
This is another, it's through my office. One moment, please. It's another cultural council payment. It was awarded to the Fuller Craft Museum. And it's grant funds
So that's
that
great.
get facilitated, rather solicited through the Cultural Council, Brockton's Cultural Council. We pay them. So it is grant funded.
That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On page 43, 43140062, Allied Waste Service.
This is refuse for trash collection. It's trash pickup.
Trash pickup.
Yep. Come on.
Okay.
I believe we've looked at Republic bills before
From
on the committee, yep.
yeah. On page 50, PO number 32340622, Charleswell. Charleswell.
So is this grant funded through the school department? This is one of their, actually, it's one of their revolving funds. Chartwell's, I think, was their school lunch. I can get more details for you if you wish,
Yes, please.
in terms of the why. I mean, there's clearly a lot of costs associated.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Of course.
On page 51, PO number 12120362. Contract Corporation.
One two one two 0363
62.
62. So this is through the mayor's office, some kind of fiber optic upgrade. Sounds techie. This is grant funded. It's for the city's network, and it's from a state contract.
Thank you. Page 65, PO number 32340099. Other charge.
Three, two, three, four.
0099.
So print shop supplies to the school department. This is their general fund, through their general fund. Oh, it's Lindmeyer Monroe.
Print supplies, okay.
Print shop supplies.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Then,
It's more than likely paper. Yeah,
okay,
it's specialty paper that they use.
they use. Page 69, PO number 22040239.
Okay, this is through the fire department.
Also this.
Radios, it is grant
Yeah.
funded.
No, I remember that one. Yep.
Oh.
Thank you. No, I remember that one.
You're welcome. Is that it?
I got a couple more. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Not that I'm in a rush or anything.
PO
Trying to tell
number,
us something?
on page 71, PO number 38540493. It's housekeeping.
These are repairs, it's the school department. Soap buckets and mops. This is through their general fund, it's supplies. fragrance-free soap. The facilities department there has a pretty good stockpile of supplies, which they need frequently. Fragrance-free and dye-free soap apparently isn't cheap, but it is the most environmentally friendly and
Okay.
hypoallergenic. It's definitely what I use in my house.
Thank. Okay, on page 87, the PO number is 21040180. It's a BB car wash. B&B car wash, maintenance repair.
Okay, this is through our police department. Let's see. It's through the general fund. Looks like we're washing some cars. Okay. We're putting some cruisers through the car wash and getting $4 off for our fleet, which is nice.
Put that towards the 14.4.
They're listing every vehicle, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Also, they bring it, yeah.
You want me to keep scrolling?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
One more to go. That's it. On page 293, PO number 15140160. Floyd, that's probably the.
Okay, this is with the law department. It's regarding a settlement. It's regarding a case that came before the law department. It looks like it's a settlement for $500,000. I can get more detailed information to you if you wish. Yep.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, the guy that was from. Yeah, but that's all I have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So our next and final agenda item would be basically questions, concerns, other business. Is there any member of the subcommittee who has any additional comments, questions? Councilors, we're good?
All set.
All right, well, before we end, assuming, and I can't see any reason to the contrary, but assuming, at least for now, this will be my last accounts meeting. And so I want to first thank Irene and your staff for for all the work you've done in supporting this committee this year. And like I said earlier, in addition to everything else you've had thrown at you, you also had the five of us throwing things at you and asking questions and asking for documentation, and you had to be at these meetings. And so we really, on behalf of the Accounts Committee, I want to thank you very much for all you and your staff for all the work you did for us this year, as well as our CFO, Mr. Clarkson, and your staff as well, because I know that, we've had you in a few times, and you've had, your staff help prepare some of the materials and questions that we've asked for this committee as well. So, and please express our appreciation to your staffs as well, tomorrow, because, it is certainly a team effort, and we know that. I also want to make sure that I thank the, Councilors Minicello, Texera, and Lally for their diligent work on this subcommittee this year. We dug into a lot of things, and I think we did a lot of good work and brought a lot of questions to light, and did exactly what the Accounts Committee is here to do. And so, I really, really appreciate you guys and everything that you did, and being here and coming to these meetings and spending 2 hours on a Tuesday or Wednesday night going through invoices, and it's tedious work but important work, so I appreciate the members of the subcommittee as well. And so if there's nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to miss you.